Hello, welcome back to the Ready Aim Roll podcast. This week I think is going to be a little bit shorter than the last week. And I don't know, maybe that will be the norm going forward, unless there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Um, but yeah, this week is probably going to be quite short because I've not done a huge amount. There's not a huge amount of video games or tabletop games news that's caught my eye. And most of what I wanted to do for the channel this week hasn't happened. So um, yeah, let's get right on into it. Video game new- Video games news. The PlayStation State of Play happened, um, which is cool. I haven't watched it. I just looked on Eurogamer and had a little scroll through what was announced. So they had a shadow drop for a Silent Hill demo, which is cool. Hopefully, that one doesn't go the way of the Silent Hill PT demo. um, I wonder, that does beg the question. I wonder if there are any PlayStation 4s on eBay that have the PT demo, because I know people sold off PlayStation 4s that had the PT demo downloaded after that got removed for ridiculous amounts of money. So I wonder if that's still the case. Um, Also, Helldivers 2 got a little bit more info, which that comes out on the 8th. Excuse me. That comes out on the 8th, I believe. So yeah, just a little bit more hype building for that game because it comes out, end of next week. Um, yeah, new Sonic game, fine. Silent Hill 2 remake is happening. I'm fairly sure that was already announced, though. Though it might literally have just been, "Hey, this is happening." Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what that's like. Also, speaking of remakes, we're getting a Until Dawn remake, which, like, I get that game was like 10 years ago now. I want to say maybe 10, 11, maybe a bit sooner. Um, but yeah, that game is getting on a little bit, but it still doesn't look bad. That's the thing. Like, it really does. It mostly holds up. Um, but we all know what PlayStation are like for remakes nowadays. Um, so yeah, like I love Until Dawn. I played it a fair amount when I had a PlayStation 4. Um, though when I had a PlayStation 4, I also played a fair amount of a Dark Cloud, which was a PlayStation 2 game. Which, if you haven't played Dark Cloud, it's great. I genuinely think it's a wonderful little hidden gem of a game. But yeah, and tabletop news wise, not much has happened that I've that's managed to make me go, "Ooh, that's worth talking about." Apart from the fact that there was a report earlier in the week that um, Tencent were possibly going to be buying the license for D&D. Um, uh, yeah, no, the Larian head of studio has basically come out and said, "Hey, that's not a thing. I don't know where people got that idea. That is not happening." So Tencent are not buying the D&D IP for video games and stuff, which I'm really glad for, because Tencent have not got a great track record in terms of, like, making big, huge budget games. They have massive stakes in a lot of big video gaming companies, but a lot of their interest is in mobile gaming, um, because they're a Chinese company. They deal a lot with um, you know games that are going to be marketed towards China, Japan, Korea, like that sort of gaming market, where there's a lot more interest in mobile games and portable gaming. Um, so yeah, that's a thing. That's not a thing, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Um, yeah, I think we normally start with what I'm doing, actually, don't we? Um, yeah, I've not done a huge amount. This week has been very much focused on getting a job for me. Um, because as of the end of March, I will have been unemployed for 2 whole years, and I don't want to get to that point. I just I don't want to think about what that does, because it's already not doing great things for me right now. Anyway, so yeah, I haven't had much on my mind in terms of gaming, in terms of stuff that I've been doing. This week has very much been applications. I went to a job fair yesterday, which, if you're not aware of what a job fair is, it's just a room with a lot of people who are hiring, who you're meant to go to, speak to, give your CV, and have a chat to them. Um, but I've been so many of these fucking things locally that at this point, a lot of them are just like, "Oh, hi again. We've got your CV." Um, which is sort of like, on one hand, it's nice to know that they've remembered me. On the other, it's kind of disheartening, knowing that they've got my CV. They're clearly looking for people, and for whatever reason, I'm not it. Um, but yeah. Yeah, that's depressing, and I'm gonna move on. What have I been doing this week? Yeah, I guess I played Alien. I've been involved in a Alien RPG campaign for a while, and that's so much fun. It's such a good game. Like it, I think when people think of the Alien RPG, I think I think it's the same with any tie-in RPG. Um, they automatically think about the movies and those storylines. But the thing with the Alien RPG is that it comes with so much background and so much fluff for the wider galaxy that the Alien movies take place in. So you can do so much with that setting. A few months ago now, we were in the Cayman Islands. Um, we went to this big like office building that was it was constantly being expanded upon. And as we got into the center of the thing, we encountered basically, like, I don't know, almost, yeah, I don't know how I'd put it into words. Basically, uh, tribes of office workers. Like, these people had been stuck in this office environment for so long that they'd turned into savage, tribal, almost, well, actual, not almost, actual cannibals. Um, which is how my first Alien RPG character died, because she got speared twice, I think. Um, failed a roll and panicked because stress is a mechanic in this game. And if you roll a 1 on your stress dice, you have a chance of panicking. And she legged it and then died. Um, got dragged away by these crazy fucking office cannibals. And dragged away. So yeah, she lasted 2-3 sessions because I went to the first session. Didn't realize the campaign had continued because there's a whole thing with the venue changing sort of, I guess, ownership, I think. Um, yeah. Uh, so I missed a good like few months of the campaign. I didn't know it had continued, so I you know, I looked on the news updates for that venue, and they're like, "Hey, the Alien campaign continues," and I was like, "That is that back on?" um, so yeah, I told Sam about it, uh, and he went to the first session back because in the end I was like, "Oh yeah, Carnivale is fun," so I went to play Carnivale. He came back and told me that the campaign had been continuing for a while, and I was like, "Ah, shit." Um, so yeah, yeah, my character lasted 3 sessions, maybe 4. Um, and I have now had a character since then called David, not to be confused with the David from the movies, um, who is just a fucking badass soldier. I love him to bits. He's great. Like no nonsense, just you know, fuck you. I'm gonna put a bullet in your face type character. Who has lasted? I want to say 3 sessions now. Yeah, because we did the rat-infested colony ship. That was awful. And I've now been a part of 2 other sessions with this character on a gas giant, though that has meant I've lost a leg now. Yeah, the Alien RPG does not fuck around when it comes to death and injuries. You can really get fucked up, which is great. But yeah, that's the main thing I've been doing. I haven't played Digimon. I haven't played Kill Team. Um, even though that was meant to happen, but train strikes and my opponent couldn't make today. And I haven't touched any hobby stuff in about a week. I haven't even played video games. I haven't played video games in about 2 weeks now. No, that's not right. Maybe more like 10 days. Um, but yeah, that's what I've been doing in terms of what's coming up in on the channel. Um, I want to I want to play at some point in the next few weeks. My husband is a witch, which I think I mentioned last week. Um, from one of the people that I featured in the creator highlight thing I did during Pride. Yeah, that looks really cool. Just conceptually, the fact that you can put it onto a actual Game Boy cartridge and play it, I think that's cool. And also Zine Quest started because it's now the 2nd of February, so I have a load of zines that I want to show off. And I also want to show off some zines that are being kickstarted. So yeah, this month is going to be very, very much focused on the little guy. There might be some bigger games poking their way in from time to time, but it's very, very much going to be here's this game from people you may not have heard of at all. Like some people might have heard of Infinity in the past and gone, that looks interesting, but it might have not have stuck around in their mind. But what I'm looking at this month is stuff that you're likely not to have heard of at all, which is cool for me. Um, so yeah, that's it. Like I say, it's a short one this week. Um, I hope the I hope the volume is better for people, because we did get a comment on last week's episode about it being very quiet for some. Um, I've upped the volume on my end. Um, yeah, I'll have a look in editing, see what's going on, see if I can up the volume even more. Um, but again, if this is still too quiet, then do so, because it's this is at the moment a one-man show. I'm editing this, and I am not good at editing because I don't enjoy it. B, I'm blind. So, and I also prefer things quieter. Um, so my personal preference does affect how I edit. Um, but obviously this isn't just for me. Like, it's mostly just for me. But if other people are watching this, then it's worthwhile knowing that people thought the last episode was quiet. And in hindsight, even for me, it was a little bit too quiet. So yeah, thank you so much to the person that commented that. Um, yeah, that's all from me for this week. Uh, I hope you had a good week. Um, and I hope your weekend was wonderful, because this is going to probably come out on Monday again. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves.